We are live.
It's happening in a major way. Welcome, guys. Revenge of the Sketchbooks. Sketchbooks Part 2. Thanks for joining me. Thank you guys who are already in the live chat. Appreciate everybody being here on a fine Thursday evening. Jazzy Jamie Wood as the co-pilot.
A pleasure to be here, Jim.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited that the week is almost over.
True. I can relate.
A lot going on, buddy. And I know it's 5 a.m. your time, and your kids are going to be waking you up in 2 hours for.
I like how every time we do one of these streams, it gets later and later. It's like
exactly
7
a.m.
a.m. right now.
6:30 a.m. Guys, we're going to go through some stuff, some old stuff. I'm going to start the show by showing some new stuff. Jamie, can we show the folks what came out this week? Guys, in stores as of yesterday, John Wayshak's incredible new comic book, Bad Idea, written by the awesome Mike Carey, published by Bad Idea. I just said that. I'm doing covers for this whole series. Issue 1 out yesterday, and we both scored copies of this book, right? You got a copy?
Such a good book. So good.
It's awesome. We got that, and then we got my current project I'm working on diligently. Defective Comics Presents, the Arachnid Enforcer, almost at 500 on the pre-launch followers. Spread the word on this, you guys, if you don't mind. I want to get that number up to 1,000 before we launch on October 1st. It will be the Kickstarter, just like last year's Savage Street Vigilante. I'm going to do these books every October. It's fun. It's spooky season. I get to go to New York ComicCon and promote the Kickstarter while I'm there. So that always helps. But this crowdfunding stuff works with the support of the community and you guys just being on board and letting friends, families, enemies, lovers, ex-lovers, let them know. Let your mechanic know. Josh or whatever his name is. Let the people know.
Let the world know.
Let them know. Thank you for keeping Black and White comics alive. You're welcome, Gavin. And here's a couple new pages from this week. We got The Illusionist, the main bad guy in the Arachnid Enforcer, his lovely witchy daughter, Melody Jade, MJ, and got a dynamic sex magic page that I just finished working on today.
That second panel is genius. That's so good.
Oh yeah, the fire's in his eyes, and he's actually sweating. I don't know how this is the physics of this, but there's sweat coming out of his mask.
It's so good.
So I'm having a blast working on this book. It's more fun than Savage Street Vigilante, and I brought all the originals to the bar the other day and showed Scotty Young, and he was like, "Dude, this book kicks the ass of Savage Street Vigilante."
It seems like a dangerous place to bring a bunch of original art, Jim.
But the reason I did that is I want the audaciousness of walking into a bar with a portfolio and showing it to a fellow artist and just being like, I'm not going to show it to you on the phone, on the size of a phone or an iPad. I'm just going to make sure the bar is clean, and we're going to break out the first 20 pages of what I've drawn, and we're just going to look at it together. And Scotty, of course, loves that. And it makes such a difference to see someone actually flip through the originals and get their reaction on things, because it's like a genuine reaction, Also out recently, you guys, Heavy Metal Magazine, kind of a dream come true, being able to rock a cover for them. This just came out a couple weeks ago. Post Malone, Big Rig, I'm doing covers for this whole series. And if you miss Savage Street Vigilante, still available on my website, jimmahfood.com. Link it
in
up.
description.
And high octane indie comics at their finest. I also make art books, Ballpoint Slayer, Volume 1 and 2. Just got the Iron Man prints in. These will be available on the site very soon. And at the conventions I'm doing this summer, I'm hitting Tucson, Arizona at the end of this month, the end of August. Eddie P. Con in mid-September in Pittsburgh. New York Comic-Con mid-October, and Tokyo Comic-Con in early December. Heading back to Japan. Gotta be awesome. So let's pick up where we left off. This is this volume 4? Volume 4. Okay, cool. The OG sketchbook world. John Spencer, Blues Explosion. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, set the scene for us, Jim. What year are we in? What's your life like at this time?
This is this 95? This is 95, 96, and I'm still in college, still in art school.
Okay.
So things will start to get exciting because you'll start to see me getting professional work and doing the sketches for those books in these sketchbooks. So shit starts to happen. Little Evan Dorkin doing Madman. So I guess this is the beginning of something epic or something. Joy, a new sketchbook. Hey, asshole. So this is there's that nose. There's that Chris Pacello, Duncan Fegredo crosshatch nose. So I guess if you want to do a drinking game at home, you can do crosshatch nose, wallet chains, baggy pants, cute girls with short hair, skateboarding characters with afros, boom boxes, weed references. And that's just that tattooed 90s tribal tattoos. There's a wallet chain right there. Batman with bent ears. I am an allergy sufferer. Not so much anymore. I've outgrown most of them, but as a kid, I had to get allergy shots. I guess this was drawn on a particularly intense allergy day. Do I remember what sketchbook I was on when I started doing professional work? Yes, this book we're looking at right now, Gavin. Good timing with that question. And my homeboy Dave Croslin in the chat. What's up, Dave? Good to have you here. The King. King gone, baby. Justice League. Cute girl with short hair with backpack. That's on your checklist. That's kind of cool. That's a probably a life drawing study. So this is I mentioned this in part 1 and I grabbed the book just so you guys can see it. But this style, this line style, and the direct to ink, this was like we were all looking at this Duncan Fegredo Enigma stuff. This is a really nice collection that Dark Horse put out recently through the Burger Books line, but this was originally DC Comics, Vertigo, and a lot of our introductions to, I mean, we knew Sienkiewicz, of course, and Dave McKean, but this also kind of reintroduced that idea of like the looser, scratchy line style, the scratchy nose technique.
I've never seen this book before.
Duncan's also just a badass painter and illustrator, so he was doing fully painted covers for the series. But the series starts off super, super loose and sketchy, and then by the time you get to the later issues, he's becoming more of a developed artist. But I mean, shit, look at that painted stuff, man.
That's insane.
That's all analog. That's gorgeous. So, you know, I wanted to point that out because looking at these sketchbooks recently, I didn't remember how much of an influence that him and Bocello and all those guys kind of were. Those books were definitely happening in the studio. Don't look. And this guy's a pimp because his hat, his fez indicates that he's a pimp. This is actually a school assignment, an illustration class. This was, I believe this was like the assignment was like illustrate one of the Guinness Book of World's Records. And I think I was illustrating like the world's fastest eater. So you see like me as a young cartoonist, this is 1996, trying to figure out like, how do you convey motion, movement, and time? And there's kind of a DeLuca effect, kind of, sort of, with like the hands. You have multiple hands of his. DeLuca effect refers to when you see Spider-Man on like one page of a comic and you see him in motion flipping, and it's different individual drawings of him usually coming at the viewer in perspective. It's just a cool, old-fashioned, timeless comic book technique for portraying movement and time. This is a school assignment as well. We had to design an ad for a drink, an alcoholic beverage. So I chose something called the Zombie. So these are some of my layouts for that. And I wound up liking this one and going with this, but I did I'm just going to cheat and jump to it. I did a more squarer version of the head. Oh, great. Now I'm not going to be able to find it. It's in here somewhere. We'll get to it. The lounge lizard drink. There's another attempt at zombie. The Jamaican crawler. Just like drunk people at the beach. But I mean, you know, even, you know, I've always been just a straight to pen sketchbook worker. So all of this stuff is just kind of spur of the moment, off the top of the dome, sort of freestyle. Who's this dude? He's rocking like little smoke dog shirt.
That's sick.
This is that's okay. I drew this in the book. This is actually I penciled this out. I'm not sure what's going on with like the super tight hairdo and stuff, but I guess I wanted to like do a really clean. This is a girl that reads Vertigo comics. This is like this is what some of the girls look like that I went to art school with in 1996 with the choker. You got to have that. I love those girls. They all smoked clove cigarettes as well. November 5th, George Clinton's going to be in town. John Spencer, November 11th at Liberty Hall. I did wind up going to both of those concerts. Oh, there you go, Jamie. That's for you.
My favorite heroin Batman.
That's the 90s heroin chic Batman.
The best Batman.
Is it sacrilegious to add on to my old drawings? Because
I don't know if you can improve perfection here, Jim.
If I did this now, if this was like Savage Street Vigilante, his proportions would be like that. So just imagine him, I don't know, This
He's a
is
shell of a Savage Street vigilante.
dude, this is the bizarro version of Absolute Batman. Instead of being a big, huge, muscular, hulking guy, he's a very skinny, anorexic Batman. Tank Girl.
A
Early
sick
Tank
Tank
Girl.
Girl piece.
Yeah. She's super fun. Mommy, is funk a bad word? Yes, dear. Rocking the Tonka shirt. Some studies in here of people jumping and shooting guns. Trying to figure out perspective stuff, you know, like the hand coming at the camera, pushing character back into the background. We got some, oh man, we got the old school Walkman. That's probably my Walkman from that time. That's pretty sweet. Always had it on me. Another
Did you
short
keep
hair
it?
girl.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, it's in the storage like somewhere. It's like, you know, I try not to be a pack rat, but there's certain things that I still have that it's kind of like, why? I don't know, man. Analog might be coming back. Who know? You know.
Sergio's asking what tools were you using at this time? Do you remember?
Yeah, this was all of these drawings in the sketchbook are drawn with the Pilot Precise Rollerballer V7 or V5 black pen. Let me grab one real quick. Hold on. Do I have one? I don't even have one handy because I don't really use them anymore. But yeah, I mean, we would just buy boxes of those at like Office Max, and I would just always have them on me. This is the we're getting into the page layouts for my self-published Cosmic Toast book that I put out in 1996. I showed that off on the last sketchbook stream, but it's cool to see, like, okay, Girl Scouts gets 4 pages, the conversation gets 2 pages. Not correct, asshole. You got to learn how to draw. We got to go. Hey, my left arm is all fucked up. Characters commenting on oh, it's like a this is definitely a piece done while stoned. It's like the dark and light.
The contrast.
Like heaven and hell. What does it mean, Jamie?
You will try to find out, Jim.
What's it all about?
DC Wells is asking, do you ever use Zipatone in your sketchbooks, or is it only for finished pieces?
That's a good question. Not in these sketchbooks, because I did have Zipatone at the time, but it was so rare and so expensive to have that I would save it just for finished pieces, school assignments, and comic book pages. But I believe you will see some stuff in here because I do a thing where I start photocopying some of my school assignments and I just cut and paste photocopies of them into the sketchbooks. So some of those pieces probably have Zipatone in them. And Jamie, we got super baggy skater shorts here with the wallet chain.
With the wallet chain. You can't forget the wallet chain.
This is like the 3rd wallet chain we've had since we've opened the sketchbook. These are some more awesome, crazy gonzo collabs with my buddy Nathan Fox. This is Nathan drawing Batman as a popsicle. What is up with this Batman shit? Fucking Spidey motherfucker, and him drawing Spider-Man. Is that the Arachnid Enforcer? Early Arachnid Enforcer?
First appearance right there on the sketchbook.
I love it. Those are great. Collaborations can be fun. Oh, and this is my homegirl, Lachelle. She was in illustration with us. It looks like she drew this stuff. We got Hellboy, Batman. Listen up, boy. That's me, and then there's Jill. Jill drawing a weird cat creature. Oh, that's dope. Nathan Fox drawing me. That's a pretty sweet.
That's cool.
Pretty sweet. That's what I looked like at the time. I had my little goatee and super short hair. What is this? A fucking community project? Oh shit! By Paul Briggs. Craig, Jill, Kurt, Jay, and Mike. We're all out at the bar, I'm assuming. That's amazing, Jill, with the huge cigar. So Paul Briggs, I mentioned last sketchbook session as well. Paul was in my illustration class, got recruited junior year to go move to Florida and work for Disney, wound up winning an Oscar award for his work on Big Hero 6. And that's a drawing Paul did of me. Whoa, welcome back, Briggs. And this is Jill drawing a beer and a fish. Another Nate and Jim collab. So here's Nathan. Some of these are just us in the bar, you know, cutting loose after class. Pretty fun. Oh, a little still. Oh, we got something torn out of here. Hector Casanova, another brilliant artist I went to school with. Hector was a year below me in the illustration program, wound up illustrating Matt Fraction's very first graphic novel. Matt also went to school with us, but was, I think, 3 or 4 years below us. So I didn't really know Matt that well in school, but became friends with him after the fact. This is Hello Kitty with like a decapitated head. The Hulk pushing someone to the side. That's awesome. Hector is still doing illustration, and he's actually a full-time instructor at the Kansas City Art Institute. Sorry for making your book no longer suitable for kids. This is a guy humping a robotic sheep or armadillo, or there's a 25 cent. It costs 25 cents, Jamie.
That's good value.
Hello Kitty Spider-Man, the actual Spider-Man. Oh, Tay, Jim. You'll find no sheep, sodomy, or superheroes in my own sketchbook. Well, almost none. Cool, Hector. Paul Briggs rocking Batman in some kind of pimp cape. That's amazing. That's fantastic. When I met Paul freshman year, I was a little intimidated by him because I was like, I don't consider I'm not a competitive person, but I'm like, this guy's going to be like the main guy I'm going to have to compete with. And then we became really, really good friends. And it was like, no, there's no competition. We're all just doing our own crazy shit. Dogs love trucks. More Paul Briggs magic. And then we have the incredible Jen Martell, who also went to school with us. She wound up going into animation. But at this young age, I mean, she was younger than us, and she was just a super, super solid cartoonist. So damn good. Shit. I don't know what this is. Give me those funky horns. Vengeance will be mine. These are sketches for, can I fast forward to this? There it is. Okay. So these are sketches for a movie poster that I wound up doing with Nathan Fox. A double feature, Friday and Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. We had a job that we actually got paid for on campus at the Art Institute, where on Saturday nights we would do a double feature and show old or current movies to kids that went to the Art Institute. So this was on campus, but no faculty was around, and everybody would bring booze into the amphitheater, and we would sit and watch VHS movies projected on like a big screen, and everyone would get drunk and high and have a blast. And Nathan and I would actually make the movie posters and photocopy them and put them all over campus so that people knew what movies to watch. Two Fisted Films started by Jason Sonderman, my buddy Steve Willerette. Then eventually Mike Huddleston and I took it over, and then Nathan and I took it over. But we basically got paid by the school to get drunk on the weekends and hang out and show movies on Saturday night. It was awesome. This is me trying to come up with my, I believe junior year or maybe senior year illustration promo one sheet. That gives my, info and contact info, where to get a hold of me, what I do. I can tell I'm like pricing out paper here for printing my next Girl Scouts comic or possibly Cosmic Toast. More collabs with Nathan. Solid Steel. This is a tennis themed one. I don't know. Chromium plate alloy and spring recoil construction adds to create effecture brush move reduction. We were probably very high. Golf ball, not tennis ball. Think people think. Does it look like a tennis ball? I don't know. One of Jen Martell's drawings I thought was so dope that I just
So good.
photocopied it and put it into my book. But I mean, she was like 19 at the time and already could do this like Tex Avery old school animated look. It's really, really badass. Big worm wrapped around Smokey. Where's my money? This is incredible on Nathan. So I did the Friday part. Nathan did Up in Smoke, but this is incredible. This is still works really well. The tires, the treads of the tire is holding the joint. That's amazing.
That's amazing. That's so good.
That's fucking great. That's advanced shit. Good job, Nathan. So there's that finished zombie drink.
Whoa.
Did. So, and this is just a photocopy. So I like, I just reduced it down and wanted to have it in the book, but this is like all of that hatching is done by hand.
That's crazy.
But you can see like, this is, I'm getting into like a more hyper detailed, very specific, very fairly confident cartooning style. Beer gut. Nose hatching for all those at home watching and drinking. Nose hatching. Caliber Press phone number. Old school comic book publisher that I did a little bit of freelance work for. Drawings from life. I feel like these are definitely from Photo Reference. This was done with like a felt tip. That guy's face, that's more of like a felt tip marker pen kind of thing going on there.
Dave Crosland asking, was that zombie drink the birth of Zombie Kid?
Yeah, actually, yeah, good eye, Dave. I should have pointed that out. That's the OG. That's what Zombie Kid turns into. And we're going to get into Zombie Kid a little bit later in the sketchbooks. He actually shows up, and I kind of refine this design and turn this character into a superhero that I used in some of my early indie stuff. We got some concerts, guys. We got Man or Astro Man on Sunday, April 21st, 1996 for $6 at the Grand Emporium. This was a great show. We got John Spencer Blues Explosion for $10, November 11th, 1996 at Liberty Hall. Killer concert. And this is a big one. We got Peter Albert's business card from Fireman Press. Fireman Press, I met these guys in 1996 at a convention in St. Louis. Rob Schraub, Dan Harmon, Peter Alberts, all making the Scud comics and La Cosa Nostroid. And I would connect with them and eventually wind up doing some work with them. Great guys, still friends with Rob and Dan to this day. Really good dudes. Doug Monkey's address. Let's not show that, but Doug Monkey, awesome, badass artist. This was 1996. This was an early commission I did for someone at a local show in Kansas City, and I photocopied it and pasted it into my book. But I guess I was happy with this like more punk, younger Wonder Woman.
That's a sick piece, man.
That's all drawn. Those lines are all drawn by hand. It's like, get in there and just noodle. Get some reviews for my self-published book, Cosmic Toast. So this is what I would do during this time too. I would go to the magazine section. I would go to a newsstand, and I would just open all the magazines that I liked and write down all the addresses and phone numbers. And then I would just send photocopies of my work to every person that I could. So Warp Tracker is a skateboard company. Santa Cruz Skateboard Company. Ray Gun Magazine was the shit. Great magazine. Spin. Too Much Coffee Man. That's Shannon Wheeler. Street Rod Custom Clothing. BYO Records. 16 Skateboards. Planet Earth Projects. And, you know, it's like most of these people would never get back to me. Like I wouldn't hear from them, but you never know. So if one out of a dozen people responds to you, Transworld Skateboarding, Paul Peralta, Slap, Daily Bread, Label Whore, Maple Skateboards, Thrasher Magazine, you got to have it. And then you got a guy actually like biting into a skateboard with this dude looking on. Giant Action Hero Man. Nose hatching, guys. Nose hatching. Take a shot.
Giant Action Hero Man could be the next Defective Comics series, Jim. Keep an eye on that one.
I know. It's like that could be. It's got legs. It's got something. Some dude getting knocked out. That's kind of a cool perspective. You know, it's like you got to figure all this shit out if you're going to do comics. You have to figure out like, what does a guy getting punched look like? Larry Stroman, his address, let me block that. Above, this is a big one. Holy shit. De La Soul Fishbone and Goody Mob for a whopping $15. October 7th, 1996 at the Granada in Lawrence, Kansas. This was a night to remember. This was a fucking killer show, man. The reason Larry's he wrote this in here is when I went to that show in 1996, I was set up next to the Fireman Press guys, Rob Schraub and all them. Larry was also right next to me. So we all became buddies. So one person that did get back to me was Dan Klaus. So here is the postcard that Dan Klaus sent me after I sent him a stack of my self-published books. And this was hanging above my art table when I got it, like for a long time. And then I just eventually pasted it into this book because I didn't want to lose it. This is 1996, Daniel Klaus. Dear Jim, thanks for the comics and for writing such a polite letter. Your artwork is very developed for your youthful age. If the comics biz doesn't collapse in the next few months, you shouldn't have any trouble getting work. Good luck to you, my boy. Best, Daniel Klaus. How fucking awesome is that? How
That's
crazy.
so cool.
So when I mean, this is before the internet. So like when I got this in the mail, this made my day for like 3 months. I was on cloud 9 from this. Like the fact that he even took the effort to put pen to paper and like mail me a little postcard. It's like this was huge. There's some Zipatone. So this was like some school assignment or something, and this is a photocopy that I cut and pasted into the book, but this definitely has some of the hand cut zip. And then this is basically just me trying to figure out textures. As you can see, there's all these different crazy forms of texturing and line weight going on. Yeah, definitely Chris Pacello inspired. Here's another postcard. Adrian Tomamine from Optic Nerve, still working today, still brilliant. I always pronounce his last name in the beginning, Adrian Tomine, but I think it's Tomamine, I believe. Anyway, November 13th, 1996. Dear Jim, thanks for the big package of stuff. You asked for a little feedback, so here you go. You've certainly got a lot of drawing talent. I think my only criticisms would boil down to personal taste. It seems that your sensibility shares a bit more with mainstream comics than mine, and I have no doubt that you could be a real success in that field if you choose. In any case, keep at it, man. Take care. Adrian. Again, even though he wasn't, maybe completely batshit crazy or excited about my work, he took the effort to write this and mail it to me. Made my month, made my year.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
This is funny. Someone wrote this down for me, or I think I wrote it, but it's Ran Xerox by Liberatore. Like someone must have said, you need to, based on your style or your interest, you need to check out Ran Xerox. So I guess I wasn't aware of it at this time, but Ran Xerox is the shit. If you guys don't know about it, definitely check it out. Check out Liberatore's work. Here's some photo. I don't want to show close-ups of these because there's like an ex-girlfriend in these, and I don't want to be like disrespectful or whatever. So you can just see them from afar. Parliament, you got to have P-Funk in your life. And what's this? It's an original drawing by Sergio Aragones, circa 1996.
What?
Jim. Original Gru drawing. He did this for me at that St. Louis convention I was talking about, where in 96, where I was sitting next to Rob Schraub and Larry Stroman and them. And so this evolves into like, I meet Scott Lobdell at that convention, and he's the one who gets me the gig doing my Generation X Underground special at Marvel. Oh, okay. And speak of the devil, you turn the page, Scott Lobdell drew this page, did this page. So I feel feel like I should cover things up. He gave me his phone numbers and is apologizing, and drew Chamber and drew me real quick. But Scott came to my table, loved my work, and took it back to Marvel. And then this is crazy. The next page turn, I start sketching the Generation X characters. So all of this stuff leads to this book. This was my first big major solo break. I had gotten some work in like 95 inking for DC and doing some stuff at Caliber and stuff, but Gen X is kind of what blew the door open for me. So it was a fluke because I was in school in Kansas City, and my friend Christine called me and said, hey, someone can't use their table at the convention here in St. Louis. Do you want to come down this weekend? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So I packed up all my shit and drove down to St. Louis. And that's the show where all of this stuff happened to me. I met Rob, Dan Harmon, Scott Lobdell. This led to me getting this gig. Pretty crazy. Got some nose hatching there, guys. Page. So I would just draw all this stuff in my sketchbook, and then I would photocopy it and fax photocopies to Scott Lobdell and my buddy Jason, who wound up becoming the editor on this project, Jason Liebig at Marvel. What is this? A fucking Image comic? A little cheesecake for the fanboys. M would never wear something like this. Too short and stocky. There's Chamber rocking the Tribe Called Quest t-shirt. Pretty fun.
That's so cool.
Critiques fucking suck. Back to Gen X. This is a Skin B-boy styling. Making copies. God, I fucking hate waiting at Kinko's. Jubilee. Look how cute she is in her dress. New York City ska. The characters, it worked out because the characters actually did work in my style, and they worked in this weird, like, underground format. So the project wouldn't have been what it was unless everything fit together. This was a CD cover, an album cover I did for the Secret Cajun Band. My buddy John was the saxophone player in this band. Awesome ska punk, kind of metalcore indie band, rearranging the Liquid Monkey. And then inside the UFO was pasted photos of all the band members' faces. Some anime, manga stuff going on here. This is was this senior year or junior year? I think it was senior year. The illustration class asked me to draw the official invitation to the illustration end of the year show, which, if you were in school at the time, this was kind of a big honor. Like, this was a big deal. Like, the class chose me to represent and do the flyer. So I vividly remember Nathan Fox calling me from studio. I was at home working on the Gen X book, and he was like, "Can you do the flyer, man? I know you're busy." So this is the actual flyer. That's what went out to all the patrons of the Art Institute and around campus. So fall semester show, December 6th through the 8th. Crazy. It seems like yesterday, but it also does seem like 29 years ago. different expressions. These are some school assignments, I guess. Acme Skateboards. I wound up doing a couple graphics for them. Let's do it. Chamber.
Dave Crosland said, "Oh snap, was that Ryoga in pig form?" I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, for sure, man. I don't know where, like, I don't know what, that's a deep cut, but I don't know what my awareness was, or maybe we were stoned watching those on VHS at someone's apartment or something. I don't know. We got a Punisher rocking some baggy pants though, guys.
No
Punisher.
wallet chain though.
The bullet strap. I know.
Incomplete chain. Shout out West Coast Dave in the chat.
West Coast Dave, what up, dude? Oh, and here's a photo from the setup, or I guess my setup at the senior show next to my buddy Paul Chatham. Paul had a really dope kind of Dan Klaus fanographic style of drawing, and then I had my pieces selected and hanging up. I like this. I like that boot, that kind of Doc Martin look going on there. Figuring out volume with the scratchy nose, of course. I think this is one of the graphics I sent to Acme Skateboard. She's got the A on her shirt. Worship Me. A biting commentary, you guys, on the influence of media in our life. Like, we all worship the TV.
Relevant to this day.
Let's discuss this, Jamie. What's the influence of media on your life? What is it doing to us as a culture? Collaborative by Mark, John, Lush, and Jim. I don't even know what's going on here. This is definitely like drunken late night sketchbook shenanigans. Ouch. There's a guy getting punched in the face. That's pretty dynamic. And jumping towards you. Figuring out movement. Robots. It's about time we got some fucking robots. Arm rockets. That's where those Creed boots came from. That's right, Simon. That's right. Shout out to Flavor Pack. That was one of our crews in college. You Macbeth. This was a school assignment, and it was coming up with like a poster for Macbeth, the play or something. And I did like a modernized version of it. But look at that. I'm using a ruler to ink that gun. Look at the look at the effort on that shotgun, man.
That's such a cool piece.
Wow. And again, like the ridiculous, each of these little squares is individually crosshatched with, I think the smallest rapidograph I had was like the gray one. It was like a fucking needle point. But yeah, man, it's like, how much ink can you get on a page? All this is drawn by hand too. Those lines, like that's kind of crazy. Jesus. Look at the size of that wallet chain, dude.
That is a for real wallet chain right there. That's a serious chain.
Little self-portrait circa 96. I used to rock the low top Converse 1 stars, man. That was my shoe. That was my shit. This sucks. Waiting at the airport, December 23rd, 1996. I'm assuming I'm flying to St. Louis for Christmas. And flying during the holidays does suck. Here's a early Generation X cover Or no, wait, is this? No, these are the, yes, this is a cover sketch. And these are a sketch of the trading cards. So kind of figuring out layouts. So there's the cover. And in the back of the book, you have shit, where are they? There they are, the trading cards. And the instructions here tell you to, you photocopy these and then you cut them out and you mount them onto chipboard and individually cut them out with an X-Acto knife. It's like so much effort to make these as actual trading cards. But guys, in like 97, like we had way more time on our hands. Like you could just make crafts and do projects, and no one was as busy as they are today. We got some ninjas. And we got a little floating dude rocking a Beck t-shirt. Odelay, Beck's record Odelay, the brilliant album produced by the Dust Brothers, that was in constant rotation in studio during this era. When that album came out, holy shit. We got guys shooting guns. We got cyborgs. We got Scud. We got Batman. We got short-haired girls in those like 1997 grandma thrift store dresses. We got 90s people with bad posture. Scud again. Spider-Man t-shirt. That's pretty cool. That's not bad. That dude's face.
I was gonna say that's fucking very cool.
You know. Oh, and suddenly we're back to some of the Gen X designs. Here's Banshee and White Queen. 1 star is the greatest shoes ever made. Do you see what I'm saying, guys? This is my shit. Got some DJs. Strange aliens wearing like this dude's rocking a Flash t-shirt. Big-headed characters. Got a little charcoal pencil, a little like grease pencil action there. These are definitely drawn from life. That's probably at Jill's apartment, like stuff in her actual place. Some more charcoal. I said it before, I'll say it again. You got to draw hands every day, all fucking day long. Okay. Draw those hands. Star Trek. Look at that dude. Shout out to Herbie Hancock's record, Man-Child. That was also another in constant rotation in the studio. Instrumental electro outer space funk. Nothing else like it. Okay, so Dave Crosland shouted this out, but the zombie from the zombie ad evolves into Zombie Kid. So here's some early, I don't know what got cut out of this page, but here's some early Zombie Kid stuff. With Chamber.
That's sick.
This sketchbook almost done yet? Blues Explosion, baby. And the answer is yes, it is done. Luscious Jackson, killer band on the Beastie Boys Grand Royal label at this time. Groove Farm was a killer record store in Kansas City. And Dirt Gallery, my buddy Gavin owned this like underground indie art gallery. And I didn't start the show off by mentioning this, but we got, Marvel Puffy stickers on the cover of this, guys, and weird 90s rave alien dog posters. I don't know. Let's do volume 5. Here's some more Ranma for you, Dave. With Ranma with Fishbone. What more do you want? This is, wow, we got some more anime and some Looney Tunes and Eben Dorkin's Milk and Cheese. $25 graduation fee. So I guess I'm this is senior year of college, so I'm getting ready to get out of art school. It looks like we got some layouts for some comics that I'm working on here. The forest is the main character of the story. I don't remember I didn't make this comic, but I don't know what this was for. A fantastic collaborative piece with Lachelle. Lush has got that mad, fat, wicked space bong. That's a cute little hat you got there. Far out, man. Lush drew me. That's awesome. That's great. Look how much character is in that. That's so funky. I love it. I just saw Lush last year. She lives in California and co-owns an art store with her wife. Good people. Spite in a can. A new product. It's funny, like looking back at this, because when I was figuring out hands, I started doing this thing where, like, I don't know how to describe it, but the knuckles are their own separate thing. And then beyond the knuckles is this like shaded understanding of that plane. So it's two separate planes. And that did help me figure out, like, because hands and feet are really complicated to draw. Even to this day, I mean, I'll still just use reference most of the time for hands. It's just, why not? Cyborg dude with coffee cup. Oh, we got like a crying emo. Is this Tetsuo? I don't think it's supposed to be Tetsuo, but it's kind of a crying emo manga kid with Chris Pacello scratchy nose. Jason Lee, big man, the contact info. I guess I don't need to cover this up because he doesn't work at Marvel anymore. And Marvel, this is their old address, right? 387 Park Avenue South. Are they still there? Someone in the chat, let me know. Hey. We got some Gen X underground. See, there it is again, the shaded hand. Wow, what's going on here? Ill. His shirt says ill. This is the ill fat era, you guys. You don't understand our big pants, man. Okay, so I regret this, but there was a girl I was hanging out with at the time, and I let her color some stuff in this sketchbook. And I do regret it because it doesn't look good. But Jamie, I'll be fully honest, I was trying to hook up with this girl.
You don't even have to say that, Jim.
Right. It's pretty obvious. She was like, "Can I color in your sketchbook?" We'd be hanging out at night, getting high or whatever. I'm like, "Sure." And then she would do these, and I'd be like, "It's great."
I hope that paid off for you, Jim. I do.
Jamie, as my co-producer in this venture, I'm going to need you to digitally scan these and like remove the color from these. I'm going to need you.
I'm on
to
it right now, Jim.
Get your
I'm
team
on it right now.
on restoring. I don't even know what the proper terminology is. Look at this crew. Rocking the Batman shirt. Cosmic Toast, baby. Handlebar mustache. Hell yeah. We got another short-haired girl with tattoos and a tank top. And skater kid with baggy pants. This checks all the boxes, guys. I mean, come on, man. Think. This is like a emo day or something.
That's a cool piece.
That's kind of interesting. I'm like chunking out. That's kind of very Dave McKean-esque, Cage's era, like chunking out planes. Although, guys, I've said it before, but don't use marker. Like, unless it's waterproof or oil-based, like don't. It's kind of shocking that this hasn't faded that much more because this feels like Sharpie. But don't use Sharpie on your work. Leave me alone. Ugh. There's another one. Oh, we got a graphite drawing done from life of a female friend of mine with short, spiky 90s hair. You couldn't avoid it, guys. Little flower. These are two separate drawings. So flower, girl posing on couch. Got to have that hairstyle too. This guy, this is basically Otis from the Girl Scouts comics, that the dude with the shaved head and the kind of tank girl, just like tuft of hair. Not quite a mohawk. We got some jazz saxophone action. Some weird characters. Some faces. This kind of stuff too. Like, I know I was always looking at Kyle Baker as well. Like the Kyle Baker Why I Hate Saturn era. Remember that book? Like Why I Hate Saturn and the Cowboy Wally Show are both incredible old Kyle Baker graphic novels. Check those books out if you haven't. They're really good. Die, humans. These are drawn from life. These are drawn from class because this is my instructor. This is Russell saying blah, 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 blah. And some more of those nice boots, those kind of Creed boots. Food One Nuts Crew. This drawing here fucking sucks. Got something in my eye. And another guest coloring job, guys. Come on. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. Lawrence, I guess this is like a super quick still life. Some sort of notes. Life drawing class, probably. Keyboard, some funky keyboard action. Look at that. I even taped in like side A and side B from a tape cassette. Wimpy. Because why not? How old is the Food One moniker, Jim? I mean, I guess going back to 96, 95, 30 years. It's kind of a cool little still life. Life drawing. Dude, the Wonder Twins. Wonder Twin powers activate. Super Friends, guys. Come on. That's some child nostalgia right there. You know, I just don't care about these kids, you know? Ah, the mixtape. Look at that. That was a logo that I used for a comic that I was doing for the local newspaper. But that was kind of like the heading, and I just cut and pasted that onto the top of the comic. But I think that works pretty well. That's the first attempt. That's the second. That's the better one. We got some funkified space bass. This is funny. This is my buddy Dante worked at a record store. He wrote these down for me. This is like heavyweight funk shit. This is Acid Jazz, original Raw Soul from Instinct Records. And Bag of Soul by the Soul Saints Orchestra was a song that we would just freak out on because it's like the funkiest, heaviest shit ever. And Dante became like a famous record archivist collector guy, and he wound up like selling old funk records to Beastie Boys and DJ Shadow and Cut Chemist. And I saw him years later when I was on stage performing with DJ Z Trip, and I was like painting on stage, and Dante was at the show because he was selling records to all these guys, and we had a cool quick little reunion. But he turned me on to some crazy records during this era. Scratchy Nose. And records and music were so important and still are to me because it's what I mostly work to. I mean, these days with podcasts and having a computer where you can watch movies right to the side of you, like I'll sometimes do that if I'm finishing a page, I'm inking or just filling in black areas or whatever. But this era, I mean, it was just music. Like everything we did, everything in studio was music, you know. This is a drawing of the life drawing classroom we had, and we had like these big portable walls on wheels that you could move around the room. But check it out. That's what I'm talking about. The boombox right there in the corner.
Talking about music, Jim, when you're listening to stuff while you're drawing, do you try and like theme it to what you're drawing, or are you just listening to anything?
I mean, both. It's like when I pencil, it's mostly instrumental music because I'm thinking as I'm penciling, and like inking is mostly upbeat music, like punk or metal or hip hop, energized kind of stuff, you know. But yeah, I kind of have like, it's more like mood based. But when I'm writing and penciling, I can't have lyrics. It's got to just be instrumental.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when I'm penciling, like the script is taped to my drawing table, and I'm constantly looking at the layout, the thumbnail, and the dialogue, and I'm just playing the scene and the page over in my head on like how everything gels together, you know. Skeleton Key comic book, shout out to Andy Watson. Great indie comic book from slave labor graphics back in the day. Dude with a runny nose. Some mysterious page torn out. I don't know what that could have been. Early drawings, early sketches of is it Bishop from the X-Men? Who turns into, I turned him into a pimp in the Gen X book. It's Bishop, right? The guy who had the mullet originally when he showed up in the 90s. Where's he? There he is. There he is. Yeah, Bishop. Okay. The funkified version. So early designs of him. Crappy comics, 25 cents. Shitty image books, 2 cents. This is way before I would go on to work with Image Comics, obviously. But during this 96 era, we were all hating on Image and the big boob, like Bad Girl Books and Lady Death. And like we were all art school kids and we were indie and self-publishing. And we all thought that stuff was garbage. And, you know, of course now I love all that shit. I love Lady Death and Chaos Comics and stuff Image has done through the years. Like it doesn't bother me. It's just funny to remember like an old mind state, you know. Major fuck up on the perspective right there, son. Well, yeah. That was drawn from life, but not quite pulled off. You want a wiener, boy? What is going on there? There's that hand with the shading. There's that nose shading. There's the epitome of like the 90s white people dreads.
That's such a cool piece, that bottom left. Though.
Which one?
Bottom left.
This dude?
No, the check on the left.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you. Oh man, this is so dope. Guest spot from my homegirl, Christine Nori. Christine and I met when we were like 15 years old, and she worked the register at the Fantasy Shop, one of the comic shop chains in St. Louis. And we became friends. And then she went on to do The Hopeless Savages at Oni. Jen Van Meter was writing the book. Christine drew the first arc of it. And Christine also wrote and drew a really great graphic novel for Oni called Cheat. It was kind of like a romance style breakup comic. And then Christine would go to work in-house at DC Comics. She was on the editorial and administrative end of things. And I haven't talked to her in a couple of years. She still lives in New York, I believe, but just a great person, ridiculous talent. I mean, we're the same age, and she was doing this level of drawing at like, I don't know, we're probably 21 at this time, or just really, really beautiful cartooning. And dude, she drew me with the baggy pants and the wallet chain.
That's sick.
So good, man. Large biscuits. I don't know what that means. We got 2 pages cut out of this, guys, torn out of this. I don't know what's going on there. Okay. Zombie Boy. Rocking the Spawn Sucks t-shirt. What is this about? I almost feel like I should wipe this out, but I'm not gonna do that. But that is kind of I guess that's still a testimony of where we were at. This is 1997. Zombie Boy. It was Zombie Kid, then Zombie Boy, then changed back to Zombie Kid. Comic artist by day, vegetarian zombie that fights monsters and whatnot by night. Yeah. So this is a crazy moment in time because this is when I'm leaving Kansas City after art school and I'm moving out to Arizona with my girlfriend at the time. And this drawing is us literally in the car traveling with Steph. This is her hands on the wheel, and we're like driving out to Arizona. We're moving out to Arizona, and this is great. I've already got the shop of art. I've already got the art store address and phone number written in my sketchbook. I've already got the comic shop, all about comics and books on Ash Avenue. And Heroes, I guess, is a comic shop in Gilbert, Arizona. But I've already got my art store and my comic shop. So this, I would do all, like I said, I would do all this in my sketchbook and then photocopy this stuff and mail it off, because this was the title page to the Zombie Boy pitch that I would send the guys at Fireman Press, Rob Schraub and Pete, because I was doing a story in their Halloween anthology called Big Crap Scare. So this Zombie Kid stuff eventually turned into the story. There it is. Zombie Kid that I would do in their fantastic spooky Halloween anthology. He's got the fishbone poster in the background. Pretty fun. That's nice. What? Pissed. So yeah. And this is my the basic story plot. This is my little pitch to the guys on what I want to do. This is funny. My new address in Arizona is, I'll just block that for a second. And then I don't know my number yet, but you can reach me at my friend Marsha's place. Me and Stephanie were we moved to Arizona, and our house that we were renting wasn't ready yet. And we had to sleep on the couch at her friend's house. I mean, that's when you're young, you don't care about shit, but it was like 2 weeks of staying at Marsha's place, which thank you, Marsha, for that, by the way. These are the costumes, the Banshees Angels costumes for in the Gen X book when the girls turn into the funkified superhero Banshees Angels. So I moved and I'm still working on the Gen X Underground special for Marvel. Some more fairly skinny Batman.
He's getting thicker, slowly but surely.
Getting a little thicker. Kermit shirt. Look at that. The strange Superman. Oh, another Batman. There we go. Tower Records main office, the phone number. I'm assuming I was trying to get either my books into Tower Records, my self-published stuff, or possible freelance work with them. Flavor Pack brand. This was drawn from life outside of the place we moved into. Trippy neighborhood shot. Some weird characters. The One That Left. Script for Mike. This was a comic script I wrote for Mike Huddleston to draw. And I don't know if I either did not send it to him or it just didn't happen, but what if I just type this out now and just draw this now?
Should be a backup story in Arachnid.
Definitely. Sucker. Jim, have you ever seen Gerard Way's Batman? He is skinny. I did see, yeah, you're talking about Gerard Way's, he had a pitch years ago for a Batman, what was it called? The Mad Haunted something, or
Gavin said, I think it was called Kingdom of the Mad.
Kingdom of the Mad, there you go. Yeah, I have seen those, yeah. DC Wells, was that near Casey Moore's in Tempe? I recognize that corner. You're exactly right, dude. I lived literally 1 block up the street on Ash from Casey Moore's. So I had Casey Moore's. I had All About Books and Comics, which is now Ash Avenue Comics, owned by my homeboy Drew, and Otto's Pizza and East Side Records, all in walking distance of the place I moved into. And I was in heaven, dude. I had everything I needed. So I'd draw all day. My girlfriend would go work all day. I'd be home alone, cranking the music, working on the Gen X book for Marvel. And then I'd take a break and stroll down to the comic shop, get a slice of pizza, go to East Side Records. It was awesome. So this is off of Mill, DC. And now I'm just talking to like one guy in the chat who's obviously from Arizona. Surf City Squeeze. Do you remember that? This is off Mill Avenue. I'm sitting outside of what was it called? The Coffee Plantation. That's where I would chill. And what I would do, because I didn't know anybody, I moved to Arizona. I didn't know anybody but my girlfriend. And I would just go to the outside the coffee shop and sit and draw on my sketchbook. And eventually people would notice and come up and talk to me. And that's how I started meeting people in Arizona. Streamer things and hair can be used for cool effects, suspenders, big shoes. Long hair usually doesn't work on guys unless you're a rock star or something, in my opinion. That opinion has changed. If you can rock long hair, rock long hair. Possible Girl Scouts haircut for Daphne. Fuck it. Oh shit. You tried to catch me at Ash Avenue when I did my signing, but your car broke down? Shit, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'll be in Tucson at the end of this month. Now, Jamie, I can't read this. But I was looking at this last night. It's too embarrassing, but this is an emo poem, an emo thing that I wrote because my girlfriend.
Jim, I need to see this one. I need to see this one off stream.
It's called Alone.
Oh, that's deep. I can feel it. I can feel the pain.
I'll send this to you later. We're
Please
not going over this on the live stream or on the show. It's not going to happen.
But
I was having some girl problems. Things were getting hectic. Things were getting dark. But on the flip side of that, I actually really like this drawing of these three weird guys a lot.
It's a very good drawing.
We're not going into the emo shit, guys. Some more weird characters. That guy's pretty cool. Like the shape of that head. Jim Lujan in the chat. What up, buddy? Thanks for being here. Thank you guys all for being here. Dr. Showbill, what up? I try and look up and look over and look at the chat, but also keep the business rolling. More big shoes, guys. This was a common look. Might as well fucking end it. This is like the dark period of my sketchbooks, Jamie.
Post Alone is a dark time.
This is my dark. But we got Frankie's pager number. This is very important because Frankie, I did meet drawing outside of this coffee shop I'm talking about. And he would turn me on to, where is it? It shows up in here. He would turn me on to going to this spot called Higher Ground, where I would meet DJ Emil and DJ Z-Trip. And then everything changed for me because those guys started to invite me to their weekly event, and I started getting on stage and painting live. And that was the shit. That was awesome. Skeleton Key by Andy Watson. Great book. I'm trying to remember. I actually don't know who drew this. GYC BS. I think it was just a dude I met outside of the coffee plantation. I dig the style though. 40 Ounce Comics. Shout out to my label. Now this is gear. This is a Kansas City dude. These are definitely drawings from life outside of the coffee shop. Well, here I am at 7:40 a.m. waiting for another fucking plane. retired. What? Okay, so I believe, yeah, okay, so yeah, Emo Jim is upset and complaining now about this plane ride. Guys, this plane ride would change my life because this was San Diego ComicCon 1997. I show up at the con and my whole life changes. So shut up, Emo Jimmy. Going to that con was the greatest decision I ever made in my entire life. Because Oni, you can come. That's where I met Oni Press guys and Kevin Smith. And this laid the foundation for me drawing the Clerks comic book. So without going to San Diego, this probably don't happen. And this is what changes my life when this book comes out. Because ironically, I did Gen X, and Gen X, I was showing samples of Gen X at San Diego to all the publishers. And all the publishers were like, "You're crazy, kid. Marvel's not publishing this book. We don't know who you are, but have fun. Good luck." But I showed these samples to Bob Schreck and the Oni Press guys, and Schreck was like, "Okay, we got to talk." So I did this first, but then this got put on the back burner at Marvel. Marvel was going through bankruptcy at the time. So Clerks actually came out before Gen X. This comes out, it's a big hit. Suddenly everyone knows my name. And then like 2 months later, Gen X comes out and everyone's like, holy shit, the kid who drew Clerks is now writing and drawing and lettering his own X-Men one-shot? What kind of world are we living in? What is happening? So this was the invite. Oni, you can come, drawn by Mike Allred. Oni, you are cordially invited to attend the first annual View Askew Oni Press Shindig, baby. That's right, Oni, you. Because this ain't no banquet hall and we're not made of money. At the Holiday Inn on North Harbor Drive. That's where Schreck, he had 3 suites. So the party was in these 3 different suites, all under Bob Schreck's name. Saturday, July 19th, 1997, from 9 p.m. till who knows when. This invite will admit 1 person. We're sorry, but if you've got one of these and your friends don't, tell them you'll see them tomorrow for breakfast. It's not that we don't like them, but that we like you better. This will be strictly enforced. Hey, it's also Shannon's birthday. Snoochie, Boochies, cock smokers. So Schreck sees my work, gives me the flyer, says, come to our party, kid. I go to the party. I walk in the door. Schreck and Shannon greet me at the door. The first people I see in the party, Bill Sienkiewicz hanging out talking to Mike and Laura Allred. And then I turn slightly and like Frank Miller is in the corner talking to Matt Wagner. So because Schreck had worked in comics and worked for every publisher and was Frank Miller's editor on Sin City, like all the superstars were there. And then all the new people were there. So like Paul Pope was there. Shannon, whose birthday it was, Shannon Stewart was the first marketing director at Oni. So when Oni formed, it was just 3 guys. It was Bob Schreck. Joe Nosmak was the money guy. Bob had all the connections and was the editor-in-chief. And Shannon was marketing. But this party, like, I basically stayed till the end because I was a party animal at this time. So I drank. I didn't make a fool of myself, but I stayed till the end. And the last thing that happened was I was on the balcony and I smoked a joint with Matt Wagner. And it was like a scene. It was like a scene out of a movie. And Matt Wagner was like, Schreck tells me good things about you, kid. Welcome to the family. And I was
That's
like,
insane.
what? It's like, what? And then I just like floated back to my hotel room at the end of the night. So and Jason Liebig, my editor on the Gen X book at Marvel, was cool enough to let me crash on the floor of his hotel room. So he got a room through Marvel. I was able to sleep on the floor. I go out, I meet the gang, I meet Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier. And then this leads to us all staying in touch. And I start sending in sketches to Bob at Oni. And then I get the approval to start the Clerks book.
That's so good.
Pretty sweet, man. This is you can tell I'm living in Arizona at this time. You got the cactus and the sweating and the constant heat. This is a crazy mishmash. Shout out to Money Mark, keyboard Money Mark. Godfather Grendel accepted you. That's right, Gavin. Some more weird stuff. Strange rabbits. There's a spill happening here on this page. Animal Chin, baby. Shout out to Paul Peralta. Return of the DJ and Cut Chemist. Someone must have shouted these records out to me and I wrote them down because I didn't want to forget them. But this is the beginning of the DJ turntablist movement, like Invisible Scratch Pickles, the X-Men who had to change their name to the Executioners. Arizona, I'm hanging out with the Bomb Shelter DJs. That's Z-Trip, Radar, and Emil. So this becomes like its own musical movement. Really cool shit, though. Really cool shit. Turntablism is almost like avant-garde jazz in a way, because it's just guys with records and turntables and a mixer making new music. This piece got destroyed by the marker work on the other. What did I say, guys? Don't use a Sharpie. We got some more Batman. Batman's getting a little bit more dangerous looking, a little bit.
He's hitting the gym slowly.
Yeah. He's got those are the Kelly Jones and now the absolute Batman, the big ears, the long ears.
That's a cool page.
Some sketches of so the beat writers, Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg, and William Burroughs, I was doing these sketches because they show up in an ad at the very end of Gen X Underground Special. And it's one of those Twinkie spoof ads. But legally, this being a Marvel book, I don't know how we were able to get away with this, to actually have Twinkies as the product, because this isn't a real Twinkies ad, but you do have the Beat Poets meeting X-Men characters. Super weird shit, guys. So, and I think I mentioned it last time, but we did an entire episode on this book on cartoonist kayfabe. So I talked at length about this entire thing with Jim and Ed. Rest in peace, Eddie P. I'll see all you guys at the Eddie P show next month, mid-September. Looking forward to getting out there. Big Blue Couch Comics, enlightenment through psychedelics. My buddy Tom, who worked at Atomic Comics, that was a chain of comic book shops in Arizona. He had his own indie comic label called Big Blue Couch, which was awesome. So I wound up doing some stuff for them. This, for some reason, I taped into the book, but the head is way too big for that body. So proportions, guys, you gotta learn these things. Some old school beats in the place to be. Jam on it with DJ Focus. This was drawn live. I think that's Jimmy the Mantis Claw. These are like Arizona era, that turntablist movement, man. So fun. More Batman, guys. Sort of a Tank Girl vibe going on there. Okay, so this is the first time I show up at Higher Ground and I do this drawing of Emil as he's DJing. And for some reason, I write Young Urban Warrior behind it. The turntables may wobble, but they won't fall down. Run DMC. Emil's cousin, Naveen, winds up seeing me draw this. And after Emil's done DJing, she grabs him and brings him over. He winds up using this drawing for one of his mixtapes that he puts out. And the mixtape is called Young Urban Warrior. And then he introduces me to Z-Trip, and we all wind up rocking out every Thursday night together at Nita's Hideaway. Live Art Explosion, Turntable Explosion, Atari 2600 Explosion. Damn good times, guys. Damn good times. So I was doing all this, and I, wrapped up the Gen X book, and then I think I basically went straight from Gen X into Clerks. So by day, I'm drawing the Clerks comics, and by night, I'm in nightclubs, not having a clue what I'm doing, but just painting on big canvases. And this was a Edward Scissorhands piece I did for my friend Violet, and I gave the original of this to her for her birthday. This is a very vivid memory, and this is just a photocopy. But Violet was really great. She was the biggest Tim Burton, Danny Elfman, Oingo Boingo fan in the world. So we definitely connected over Oingo Boingo and Tim Burton. To all the pretty girls. Generation X Underground Special. That looks like another attempt at a front cover sketch. Draw, motherfucker. Oh shit. We got some Silent Bob and Jay. Oh shit. It's starting, you guys. It's starting. Girl I saw at Coffee Plant. Cute. December 19th, 1997. Another short-haired girl, guys. Another short-haired girl. We got some dinosaur action there. Oh, look at this. This is a birthday card for my homegirl, Celeste. Celeste and her boyfriend, Bill, worked at Atomic Comics as well in Arizona. I wound up becoming friends with the whole Atomic Comics crew, and they always supported my work and were super cool to me. So Atomic is also where I met Rick Remender. Rick and I were doing a signing together. He was doing Captain Dingleberry and Blackheart Billy at the time. Self-published indie comics with Kieran Dwyer. Yeah, that was good times, man. From your pal Jim. So we got Zombie Kid, his girlfriend, Smoke Dogs in there. And then this was a piece I wound up doing for the Skeleton Key comic book. Andy Watson and I would wind up trading pinups. He did a Girl Scouts piece for me. And this got published in his book at Slave Labor. And then Andy would go on to do Geisha at Oni and a bunch of work. I think he went into doing YA graphic novels.
Trashy Trav in the chat is asking, did you ever study Magnolia at this time?
Oh yeah. I mean, Mignola has been a constant in my arsenal of inspiration since the very beginning. So yeah, I mean him mixed with Jamie Hewlett, Chris Pacello, Duncan Fegredo, this era, graffiti art, looking at lots of stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, Mignola has just been a mainstay since I almost want to say since I was a kid, because I saw him. I was collecting Superman comics in like the late 80s, and he would do fill-in issues. And then he did that book, Cosmic Odyssey, at DC, and it was him doing all the Kirby Fourth World stuff. And my friends and I were buying that book as it was coming out, and that book was blowing our minds. We thought it was really, really great. But Mignola's probably in my Mount Rushmore of creators. He's one of the absolute kings. This is the 78 Buick LeSabre that my grandmother left me and my older sister after she passed away. We got this car, man, and I put it in the Gen X Underground book because it was a legit pimp car. It was as big as a boat. I could fit 8 of my friends in this thing. It was amazing. Swell was a record store and clothing store in Arizona at the time that sponsored a lot of the raves and DJ events that were going on during that period. That's a guest drawing from someone. I don't know who drew that. That's probably someone from the coffee shop hanging out at the coffee shop. This one too. What, Jim? With the Mickey Mouse? Like, I would never draw Mickey Mouse in my sketchbook. You know that, Jamie.
I know that, Jim.
Yes, gas was 80 cents back then because that car had the worst gas mileage you could possibly imagine, man. I would ask for $1 from everybody when they would get in the car, because if we drove for longer than 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to have to gas up, man. Happy birthday, Christy. Much love from your brother, Jimmy M. So this is a birthday card from my homegirl, Christy, who I went to high school with. I was really good about doing hand-drawn birthday cards for people back then.
You still are, Jim. I got one last year.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
One of my prize possessions.
You got a killer.
I really did. It's hanging on my wall.
I did that on Ink Pulp Live. Go back to the episode where we celebrate Jamie's birthday, and I do a completely bizarre birthday card for him.
I love it, dude.
This is a fantastic piece from my buddy David Rogers, Hectic. Incredible graffiti writer, artist, went on to become a very successful tattoo artist. We knew each other in Kansas City in college, and he was part of the Flavor Pack crew. And then it's so crazy. I moved to Arizona, and then just by happenstance, he moved to Arizona like 6 months after I got there. So we had like an awesome reunion and got to hang out. He was only out there for like a year or two, but it was just good to have someone from like the old school to be able to hang out with. But that is a super dope original piece in the sketchbook. And I mean, you got the lowrider baggy pants, the wallet chain, the sneakers. This is like the most 90s rave. This could just be a rave flyer from 1997. You know, that's that era. I love it. It's great. I'm almost tempted to like cut that out and actually frame that and have that up in the studio. It's so great. And then I have my, I guess, sort of reaction to that, which is a B-boy with the boombox, the fat glasses. Yeah, is this sketchbook almost done yet, or what? It is almost done. Yeah, we're there. It is done. We're there, guys. The grand finale is so Dave did that piece in my sketchbook, and then I did this piece in his sketchbook, and that's an insane piece. This is just a photocopy I made of it. But this is kind of cool. There's actually a little portrait of Dave and me. So you got Hectic and you got Jim in there. And then you got from Casey to AZ. Yeah. Pretty sweet. Flavor Pack, Jamiroquai, Big Blue Couch again. Micromag in Lawrence, Kansas. Super fun going through the old stuff, guys. We're going to end it at that one because the sketchbook that comes next gets into me designing all the Clerk stuff, all the View Askew stuff.
Oh.
And I just want that to be its own show because that then shit starts to get really wild with like working with Kevin and all this graffiti designs and designing the Clerks t-shirts and all this really interesting stuff starts happening. So anyway, that'll be the next one. And that's sort of it, guys. Stay tuned. Always please tune in. Ink Pulp Live every 2 weeks over on the Ink Pulp channel. You know where to find us. Me and my boy Sean Crystal. When we're not rocking it, just the two of us, we're hosting some of the best artists in the business. Always having a blast. We just recently had on Wes Craig, Rob Guillory. We got some monster talent lined up and an OG talent that I'm not even going to say anything about it, but when you guys hear who we have in September, it's going to be big. So please check it out. Please hit the pre-launch for Arachnid Enforcer. I'm having a blast working on new comics, new inkiness, new strangeness, new Halloween, spookified, sexy superhero magic. I think you guys are going to love this book. And as always, Jazzy Jamie Wood, thank you so much, buddy, for being a part of it, for hanging
Thank you for having me, Jim. A pleasure as always.
It was awesome, dude. And you guys, thank you so much, everybody in the chat, for participating. If I didn't shout you out individually, I apologize. You guys are the shit. Stay tuned. There will be more. And on that note, I bid you adieu and good night.